What's up, friends? I am back, and I decided to do one more before I go to bed tonight because I don't got to get up as early as I normally do. I don't got to be at work at not till 9, and I'm enjoying this. I want to read one more. Age of Apocalypse is a beast of a read with all the books because the books, there's like 47 books, but these are older comics. It's almost in 2 years that I think it is. It'll be 30 years old. Needless to say, there was a lot more dialogue. There was a different kind of audience, and so they were way more wordy, way more lengthy. Okay, friends, don't mind me eating some ramen. I'm hoping being as normal and casual about it will keep me from bumping any copyright shit where they're like, this guy's not going to make no money on this shit, or no one's going to watch this anyways. Okay, so let's begin to book 2. A character known as X-Man, his greatest adventure, Return to Apocalypse. X-Man here he's Cable. He is Cable without the techno-organic virus, which makes him all cybernetic looking. Those aren't parts and things that were put on him. That is a virus that is eating his body that will turn him all into machine. But in the case of Age of Apocalypse, he never got that virus. And so we get to see Cable not inhibited by the virus, and so he's less guns and pouches and uses his powers a whole hell of a lot more. So X-Man, and see up there it says 64 big pages. He streaks across the Atlantic Ocean like lightning, racing against time. Nate Gray, the Unleashed. Headed in the right direction, at least I'm sure. Oops, hold on, guys. Sorry. Heading in the right direction, at least I'm sure of that much. But if I'm right, if it's really true, if that weird reality ripple that swept across New York, across the globe, for all I know, was any kind of whiff of what I think it was, I could be too late already. And I can't exactly pinpoint my target without more. Another couple ripples to triangulate the source. Another wave of... Here comes one. Home sweet home. His true home. The Age of Apocalypse. It's the birth world of this boy, the mutant of all mutants. A place where only the fittest survive. An Earth where the death of one man named Charles Xavier literally made all the difference in the world. Charles' death allowed a monster mutant tyrant called Apocalypse to rise in his place. It is the age Nate thought was long lost to him, since he crossed over into our reality. The genetic processing plants, the stench of the sea, the sting of the spring rains, gone. As if they never existed, but they did. No denying it anymore. And I got a solid sigh read on the point of origin this time. I'm getting warmer now, closer. To the, to the flame. The island nation of Genosha, in fact, off the southern east tip of Africa, infamous for its use and misuse of exclusive mutant populations called mutates, most often misused at the hands of the Sugar Man. They are bred here for birth and beyond for a wide variety of purposes, all of them his, none of them good. That's what he says was, sorry I closed it. Not enough, not nearly enough. The Fargate is my masterpiece, my glowing testament to the ageless wonder of me, myself, and... Oops. Where was I? Shoot. Not to mention my fast track mom, or my fast track hums. Another refugee of the East while Age of Apocalypse. This one is Genosha's secret shame, the mutant behind her magistrate masters for far longer than anyone's yet suspect. I've done my part to perfection as usual, jump-starting the temporal and residual energies from the first pass through the crystals. But what little remains of your miserable life forces is nowhere near enough to sustain the charge. The Fargate fairly stutters and spits still. And then, and when would have howled. Sorry, it's hard to see on the pixels, and I can't change the sizes, or else I'll mess up my what I got going on my window. And I would have it now. This will work, even if it kills us all. And by us, of course, I mean the rest of you. I will find my way back to the homeworld. In time for the third stage of the High Lord Apocalypse's North American ascendance, during the first of the famines, on the eve of the plague of penance, and when I return again to this helpless plane, this hopeful reality, with his plague in my possession. Oops. Let me get that back there. Sorry. I'm trying to make sure my windows are doing what my windows are supposed to be doing. Here we are. And no antidote but my own. The playing field will be wide open for me to overcome this planet Earth, this world without heroes. Just one hitch, as you all know. Those of you still breathing, best we've been able to produce so far are temporary flaps, little more than wrinkles in the continuum. Opening no doors, it seems the so-called Age of Apocalypse is no mere alternate dimensions surviving side by side this one, but really a dead world whose time simply came and went. So I must travel back in this time in order to reach my homeland. Alas and alack, through woe is me. Alas and alack, through woe is me. Though woe is me, I have begun to fear there aren't enough mutates and mutants on the island, this Earth, this island even, or this Earth even, to bridge this particular gap. I'm sorry, because he's written in a dialogue and the words run together. So I'm holding out for one particular kid from the wrong side of the cosmic tracks, who's bound to evacuate the lab, sir. Now. Security satellites have picked up an unidentified incoming on direct course towards the center of Genosha. In your face, Sugar Man. And what a face it is. Been looking forward to this little one-on-one since I had to put to rest your pet bloodhound Rex a few months ago. See X-Men 768. But I had no idea. I never even suspected the hindering pins of home, the slavery, the experiments, the living, breathing experiments. You've brought them all here, and I'm not finished yet, fellow exile. You think they can protect you, Butcher, your private patrol here? If these lackeys knew, if they could see your thoughts like I can. What are you waiting for, boys? Defend my honor already. Right. On target, guys. You're timing my talent and freedom is just a telekinetic twist away. Yes, not quite, boy, but it's a start. What the? Mag Squad H, while he's distracted. Hit him with the heat seekers. Idiots. Mind over matter will do the trick every single time. Try using yours occasionally. So you guys wonder what X-Man's power is? Cable's power is? He's got the exact same power sets as Jean Grey. But the techno-organic virus hinders it, so we don't see Cable act like Jean Grey. But Nate Grey again, he doesn't have that. So he's going to do, he has Jean Grey's telepathy and her telekinesis. And it's all Omega level. Your pet magisters are as worthless as their toys, Sugar Man. On the contrary, chump, they've survived their purpose, save you. The Fargate, yup, and running to capacity beyond even my wildest expectations. I really couldn't have done it without you. 99, 98, or 99, 90, and 88. And once more, for a brief moment, he experiences a strange taste of home. It's true, all true, and he used my power to make it happen. The Age of Apocalypse lives again, at the mercy of Sugar Man and his 6 schemes for that world and this one. But I won't allow it. Where the? Water? Underwater? Drowning. Something pulling me out over Niagara Falls. My Niagara Falls. No tourist shops, no cars or buses, but the water still runs blue somehow, and I'm still suspended in midair, hanging by the trace of metals in your stomach, the iron in your bloodstream, under my control. Magneto, how do you know my name? Or under my control. Magnus Gray. Eric Magnus Lencher. How do you know my name? Relax. Now, stop struggling. So, you've been through an ordeal enough already. You don't know the half of it, Mags, but I can take care of myself. Just fine, thanks. You have a painful way of showing gratitude, boy. My power levels, the extent of my control of magnetic field, took you by surprise, it seems. Sorry about the feedback effect. Oh, sorry. You couldn't contain my energies, so I shut them off. Sorry about the feedback effect. Not yet, but you most certainly will. Is this really necessary, Eric? Every single time you meet someone new. Not at all, old friend. You dragged me up here without explanation. You insisted I rescued that little water rat. You deal with him. Nate Gray hears nothing after hearing the first familiar voice in what seems like ages from the shadows above. He sees nothing but the cowled figure's descent into the light, gleaming and glittering. And he feels nothing but the fear that this isn't the man he knows in his heart that it is. But it must be. Forge. Forge. It's you. It's really you. My psi scan proves it. You're alive. Alive. Yes, Nathan. It's really me. I'm really here. You're really home. In the arms of the one man he can trust without reservation. He knows that now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the one person who never abandoned him, who always stood by his side until he was torn from Nate, bloodied and broken, dead. Your face is forged, the cyber eye you had since the day we met. Cyber eye? Unless the Emcron energies defied time as well as space before, and if the frigate actually threw me back to an earlier point in our timeline, before my birth here, maybe the beginning of the end. There's so much you don't know, so much I have to tell you. It gets worse than this, Forge. It gets worse than you could ever imagine, Nathan. I know, Nathan. I know all that are... Oh, sorry. And while you and me and the rest of the troop, Sauron and Jason and the others, go bounce around trying to win this war, one battle at a time, Magneto and his X-Men will be taking it right to Apocalypse himself. Excuse me? It'll work too. All of our efforts combined, mutants and humans both will be free of his tyranny. I know, Nathan. I know all that already. You told me the last time. Last time? Above the falls. You know now, Mr. Rankin. It's all the same of science, you understand. My only regret is you have but one life to give for my research. Your unpleasantly quick death does justify all my hard work, though, Calvin. In the weeks since my return, I have had all the time and privacy I needed to experiment and genetically engineer a strain of the penance plague, which can destroy all of humanity. Unless they get the vaccine, of course. Unless they get the vaccine, of course, which nobody does except me. This world is already beginning to end, and there's just no future here. The ageless one can have this worthless world for the few tomorrows left to him and it. I have bigger fish to fry. Come along now. You, come along. No, please, please. You've done it already. You're past testing. Yes, right. But you know what they say about the idle hands in the devil's workshop. Call it a rainy day, hobby, Mr. Wingard. Just something to keep me out of trouble. That is Mastermind. And X2, they made him the son of William Stryker. He's a little kid that messes with Xavier's head and tries to get Xavier to kill all the mutants. Sorry, guys, but when we get back there, until the storm passes. That's how I knew to meet you here. Now, and it's why it's imperative to stop the Sugarman creature before it's too late. But that's all I can tell you about your past. You're about your last pass through, Nathan. Or can or will Forge. How come I never found out about either of those previous time trips before you later? After you found me in the Midwest? Because you weren't meant to. Same old Forge. Same young Nathan, suspicious of everyone as always. Don't think I haven't noticed you watching Eric out of the corner of your eye like a hawk all night. I knew you two had some history, Forge. We share a passion for the same cause, son. The same justice for all, and there aren't that many of us. Yet, here we are, under the heel of Apocalypse. Magneto will be a legend, an inspiration to freedom fighters everywhere. But there, on the other Earth, he was the most dangerous terrorist of all time. Thing is, I'm wondering now, was he always just the lesser of two evils? The Age of Heroes, this other Earth, I believe you called it last time. The heroes are gone, Forge. Magnus saw to that. He and the man called Charles Xavier together. No, Nathan. From what I understand, from what you told me the last time, it's because Xavier exists that the other world never became a godforsaken place. Okay then, last time around, did I say whether or not this raid on Sugarman's egg house actually worked? Sorry, never had a chance to ask you. We move at dawn. Why? Why wait to take this monster down? Because that's the way you wanted it, Nathan. So that's when our man on the inside is expecting us. Any last words before you go, Jason? Oops, my mistake. Sensory probe must have bored straight through those pesky old speech centers of your brain. My logs too, I suppose. Or my loss too, I suppose. I had my heart set on hearing everything up close and real personal. About death and dying. Psi scanner's not getting me anywhere fast. All I can see with my mind is all the familiar destruction and chaos of a world under reconstruction. This is the home, warts and all, the only home I ever knew, bad as it was. Now a different world has become my home, a better world, one where Apocalypse does not reign supreme. So what is it I'm looking for then? What is it I think I've lost? Is it part of myself? A part of me that I left behind when I crossed over from this world to the other? What if I'm stuck here and I can't get back to my new home? Is that what I'm really hoping for deep down? I'll miss Thernody, sure, more than I'd ever admit, and I'll always be curious about Madeline, about what had become of her. But they live there. But they live here somewhere in some way too. And Teresa, my Teresa, is waiting out there, as well as, even if she doesn't know it yet. Along with the only other friends and family I have ever had, the Brotherhood of Mutants there. Sorry, guys. There's a whole world out there waiting for me, or for what I can do. This is only the dawning of the Age of Apocalypse. Don't hold back now, not on my account. That's why the drainage pan is down there. Every drop, every popping postulate, every leaking lesion tells a story all its own. No, I don't understand how this happened. When did you infect him? How did I miss the injection? Sydney? How could your blood virus manifest so fast? What kind of totally whacked psycho freak are you? To do this to another man, a fellow mutant. And what are you talking about, shapeshifter? I haven't done anything to Weingard. Yet. Then his symptoms, his skin, an illusion. Just pour moi. Painful enough, I suppose. I considered the power dampeners and the tranquilizer feeds designed to suppress your mutant ability. And you masterminded that whole desperate scene to get a rise out of me, hoping for a last-minute reprieve from a sympathetic soul. I like that. This version's a morph. Now, what do you do for an encore? Techno squads, Alpha Prime and Omega activate armed. Authorized to return to the scrapyard that birthed them, beastling. One piece at a time. Hang tight, Jace. The kid's a new player, but the other two are with me. Called them in with my very own emergency signal. Just watch before I blew my cover back there. Months in the making by the by, as I'm sure we'll both be hearing from Magnus and Forge ad nauseum. Anywho, après voix? Actions do speak louder than words, after all. My tech chair can hold its own. I'm not worried about that building. That building weapons is what I do best. But Sugarman's getting away from us, hiding behind his toy soldiers, and he's not aiming for the exit. Eric, forget the drones. They're out of the. Take out the mainframes, the power cables, and the consoles. Nathan, yeah, I got it. Let's see. A clear path to Sugarman. In my head, the boy was in my head, speaking to my mind. Does he know now? Does he know now? Does he suspect what I intend to do? Could he still stop me? Your personal shields won't survive a sustained barrage troll. You know that. You can't release your genetically altered plague into the atmosphere until after the storm clears, until long after the dawn. We know that, thanks to Sydney. I also know that you're planning on returning to the other reality and spreading it there. And you still can't stop me, meddler, unless you're willing to surrender this world even earlier than it ended in our era. This is what I was afraid of. What the course of time, our time as Nate described it to me once before, can't be altered in such a major way by Sugarman. That he will succeed no matter what we do. I.e., quickly, Nathan, while his telescreens are down, Psylink established. And just like that, Sugarman's sick and twisted thoughts, unfortunately, are all too clear to Forge. Of course, so obvious. Sugarman came back here for the ultimate experiment, to release a deadlier waterborne penance strain to determine its efficiency before he releases it in the other reality. It's even deadlier than Apocalypse's plague. Topside, Nathan. Quick, keep a Psylink with me. It's in the falls, son. Mixing with the waters already, dispersing with the current. And you have to get it out, now. Are you mad, Forge? The board can't do that alone. And you can't help him, Eric. But you can do something here, starting with my check chair and the device I suspect you'll find just behind that wall. Too much, way too much. No way to stop billions of gallons of rushing, pounding water and the force of gravity telekinetically or otherwise without doing major damage to the surrounding ecosystem. And what's left of my brain? Here to fine-tune my telepathy instead, try focusing on the virus alone, the individual micros until contact now. Telepathically cull them and contain them. Long as I can. I've done what you've asked. With your chair, Forge converted the raw materials into the additions you wanted for the Sugarman's contraption. The Fargate, as you called it. But I don't like it. I've heard too much over the past 12 hours, but not nearly enough. Tell me how the truth now, old friend. You mean to send the boy back to the other reality? You won't understand, Eric. You can't understand. Not yet. And I can't explain. It's just not right. Our world, not real. Somehow in the shadow of this other. So. That boy Forge has so much power, so much potential. He could win the war against Apocalypse for us. And he is from this earth, is he not? As much as any of us, my friend. Forge! At the moment, though, it appears he will not be able to contain the plague to end all plagues. Unless you can help him now, before he loses it completely. Done. And then, it's all in your hands now, Eric. Get rid of the Sugarman's venom. Take it to a cold enough height to kill each and every vicious little pathogen within. and leave you to your plots and leave you to your plots and machinations here? Trust you who would not trust me? Do what you must, Forge, but know that you do not. You do to this what you do to this world is condemn it. It will never be the same between him and me again. This will be the final wedge. Only if I do what you want. Only if I do what you want, what you need. What if I charge the Fargate, which you must? I won't choose that other world over this, Forge. I won't go back to that Earth and lose this one again. I can prevent everything that's going to happen here, remember? Why'd you even bother to send Magus off to destroy the virus if that's what you intended? He would have tried to stop me, to stop you from doing what must be done. I have to believe that the other world where you and Sugarman now reside is the true reality. I need to believe that it deserves protecting, that it will continue forever, for all of us. It's all I have. But you have hope. A whole world of it. From all you've told me, all I've learned, a world where the apocalypse that's already upon us here can still be kept at bay. That place is this one, saved. The last dregs of Sugarman's Mcron energies can only unlock the doors, Nathan. You have to open it. If you want to help us, help all the people you love here, I just want to be with you. I still won't do it. He cannot force you, child. Magnuson, my old friend, is no longer capable of manipulating any of us anymore. No. Not again. Hang on, Forge. Hang on, don't die on me, please, don't. He goes, that surge again, like the power drain in the Genosha that had fully activated. If you want me, Nathan, that's where you'll find me. On the other side. The Fargate. A mirage. Suggested to me, supplied by Weingard to ignite your Psi-Fire and to activate the failsafe. The more I resist or try to pull away, the faster the Fargate draws you in. Just like you planned, Nate. A little twist you planted in my head last time around. Don't do this, because you know I still wouldn't be able to make the right decision. Now go home, Nathan. Only if you come with me, of course, my boy. But then who would be here for you next time? Gone. Gone again, all of it. The whole age of apocalypse, all of them, like a dream. Gone bad. I'm back in New York City. The other New York City. The New York that's apparently becoming home to me. On some level, some way, it seems my subconscious choice of re-entry to this world will also mean Sugarman's back in Genosha for who knows how long already. Burrowed deeper than ever, I am sure, but he's finally drained dry of Mcron at last. And Forge, the only Forge, is here somewhere, and one day I will find him again. Bonus 6, right? A little thing in the back. That was cool, friends. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for checking it out. I'm gonna go post this to my YouTube, and it was cool, guys. Have a good night.